When Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg testified before Congress this past week, there were many unanswered questions, including why users can't always remove data, why and how Facebook is tracking non-users of the site, and what the company considers private information. The New York Times lead consumer technology writer Brian X. Chen took a look at what information Facebook retained about him and was surprised by what he found. As he put it in a word, yikes. He joins me now from San Francisco. So what did you find?
So, I was expecting this to not be surprising or interesting at all. I don't really use Facebook very often. I don't really post very much. I don't really click ads. My profile is pretty slim. So when I opened it, it kind of just blew up in my face. There's this list of 500 different advertisers that had my contact information. Most of those advertisers I had never heard of. There was a list of friends I had deleted over the past 14 years, more than 100 people. And the other things I noticed was there was a complete login history and a history of every time I opened the Facebook app, including which device I used and what day it was. And sometimes the location was tied to that information. So you could see a pretty detailed history of how and when and where I was using Facebook.
Now, what about the unfriended list? That's a little bizarre. The people who you have actively unfriended were still on a list somewhere and you couldn't do anything about that?
Yeah, so I had over 100 people that I had unfriended and the date that I unfriended them. Their explanation was they have a feature called On This Day, which is like a tool to help people reminisce on past memories. So the reason they keep the removed friends list is so that they don't surface memories with those friends that you removed because, you probably hate them or never want to talk to them again or see them again. But I still just found it at odds with Mark Zuckerberg's statement this week, which is that anything you delete is deleted for good.
Let's talk a little bit also about how they acquire information. On your website, accompanying your story, there was a video by one of your colleagues, Kevin Roos, and it looked at what you buy as a category of information that Facebook tries to gather data on. Let's take a look at that clip.
But what most people don't realize is that they have ways of tracking your offline purchases as well. For many years, Facebook has had partnerships with data brokers that collected information about people's purchases. So, for example, if you buy a burrito with your credit card, Facebook could know about that transaction, match it with a credit card that you've added to Facebook or Facebook Messenger, and start showing you ads for indigestion medicine.
All right, so that is something that I don't think most people recognize, is that they don't necessarily have to be a Facebook user.
Right.
There is still a vault of information being gathered about them by this company, in addition to all these other companies that have been in the business of gathering data about us.
Yes, it's generally true that people who don't use Facebook, there's information collected about them as well, especially using these tools called web trackers, which follow your web browsing activities and collect information on things like your IP address, potentially your contact information if you fill out a form, things like that, and advertisers are able to use that to build a profile on you.
With the information that's kind of been revealed in the past couple of weeks and months, how should we be better Facebook users?
Delete your account. I'm just kidding. I think there's a number of things that you can do to minimize the amount of information that's collected about you. You can run these web tracker blockers and use browsers that are more safely guarding your privacy, like the Firefox Focus browser, for example. Tracker blockers like there's one called disconnect.me is quite effective. Beyond that, I would probably tweak my privacy settings on Facebook to share as little bit about yourself as you can publicly, and keep in mind that anything that you upload onto Facebook just might stay there forever because clearly they don't seem to delete things that you remove.
We should mention, and you did so in your article as well, Facebook is not alone in doing this. Google is another company that has a pretty significant vault of information on you.
So Facebook is really just the tip of the iceberg, right? So Google has way more advertisements and trackers running across the web than Facebook. I think out of the million top websites, 75% of them are running Google ads and trackers versus 25% for Facebook.
And what is the justification that these companies are likely to give for tracking users at this granular level? Well, what does it help them do?
The simplest explanation is it helps them serve targeted advertising. And I think the general industry explanation is just simply that targeted advertising is a good thing for the user and of course, for the ad business. So I think they're trying to make the best of both worlds.
All right. Brian Chen of the New York Times joining us from San Francisco tonight. Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you for having me.